Is that Brandini?
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah.
I was doing this. Sorry.
Cheers.
I got called.
Everyone's got their drinks, looks like.
I don't have. Oh man, I drank my tea already.
Should we start with what our drink is? What are we all drinking?
I have coffee with oat milk in it.
Oh.
Oh. Water. Nice.
Very good. I've got a 12 essentials, all those good nutrients, you know.
I have a sip of water left.
Yeah.
Have a light roast iced latte.
Ooh.
I finished my coffee and I got a little bit of water left. Both in Star Wars stuff.
Good stuff.
Well, I'm excited to talk to you, all of you. Very excited to hear about your new album that's coming out. Your new single
Yes, thank you.
just dropped. We're gonna be getting into that in a little bit, but first, here at Bionic Buzz, we are all about people's passions. I want to know where your passion for music came from that led you on this amazing musical journey. Was a certain album inspired it, a certain live performance, something that was natural for you as a child? Jill, let's start with you.
For the new record.
Oh no, just in general, you know.
Like your passion for music.
Like, your passion for music led you to want to be in a band, you know.
Oh man, I think it was my dad that really inspired me. Because my dad is a guitarist, and you know I've been hearing him play my whole life. So when I first picked up guitar, I actually didn't want to be a guitarist because I thought it was really lame. I don't know if I ever told my bandmates this, but I remember like I was just so weird, and like I didn't want to follow in my dad's footsteps because everybody kept saying when I was young, "Oh, you're gonna be just like your dad," and I was like, no. So I purposely would try to refuse not playing guitar until I wanted to learn this one specific song. And I kept telling my dad I didn't want to learn guitar, and then I kept saying, oh wait, let me just learn this song. Oh, let me just learn this song. Let me just learn this song. And then I didn't realize that it's been a year, and I was playing guitar for a year, and I didn't realize how much I loved doing it. And then there was a concert that I went to in 7th grade, or I think in 7th, 8th grade, about 2012, that really inspired me to play in a band, and it was seeing Paramore at Madison Square Garden that really
nice.
was like, oh man, I want to do this.
Yeah, I love that. All right, Jack, what about your story?
Kind of in a similar situation. I come from a musical family myself, so it was always around me, like multiple uncles, my dad, like my mom sings, like everyone was musical. So I kind of, like as a kid, just kind of assumed that everyone was in a band, and it was just as integral as like cooking. It was just like, oh, you play guitar, cool. That's like you're a waterbender, like you play guitar, like cool. And I was just like, oh, like not everyone does this. So like me and music have just always been like one thing.
Yeah, very cool. Brandon?
I think it was just like the friends I had, because I had a friend who was like my age who was really into playing drums, and he always listened to like Nirvana and System of a Down. So me and him would go in his room, and like I would sing on his little karaoke machine while he was playing drums, and it's probably sounded horrible. I can't imagine how this sounded. Two like 12-year-old kids in the room singing System of a Down songs, but that was really the first thing that got me wanting to just play music.
I love that. Very cool. Daniel?
Hey, so I grew up kind of in a, with family that played a lot of music and stuff. Like my father has been playing guitar for a while. My older sibling, Buddy, also played guitar. But it wasn't until like middle school really where my older sibling, Buddy, they were like starting to really do well in their band, and I went to go see them once, and I just remember being really inspired by that. And also my uncle and cousin, they all drummed and stuff, so I was also interested in hitting things. So I want to say it came from just being in a musical upbringing, but a major part of why I started to pursue it was because I really looked up to my older sibling, Buddy, and I still do. But I will say that if I hadn't have met Jill in like when we were 8th graders, like 13, 14 years old, I probably would have the same passion I did, because we've been jamming for a while, and that definitely, the chemistry struck when we first started jamming definitely inspired me to keep going with that.
Wow, that's
Forgot to
cool.
mention, I feel the same way.
And how did you all meet the other members then? So, I mean,
What'd you say?
how'd you all get formed then? So you guys met like when you guys were in 8th grade, I think, and then you formed the other guy.
Yeah. So Dan and I met in 1st grade. And then in 2007, once moving on to 2nd grade, and we were friends in 1st grade too. That's the crazy part. We were like, school buddies, and like we never hung out, but we vividly remembered each other in middle school. And once I moved, we lost contact until 6th grade. We became friends again, and then 8th grade came around is when we decided to, start a band together. And there was never a moment where we stopped doing it since. And then Dan and I went through like, I mean, I can't even tell you how many member changes we went through. We went through band name changes. We went through genre changes. We went through complete different lineup changes. But the only thing that had never changed was I was playing guitar and Dan was playing drums. And then once we got out of high school, we did a tour, and we did our first tour, and then which was with a different lineup. They were all really just like touring members. I feel like I know it sounds crazy, but I feel like the band it wasn't really officially formed until like Jack really joined, and like that's when everything really started to feel like a full band. So even though, they joined, it kind of feels like we all formed this thing together of what it is now, even though me and Dan formed what was born in.
Yeah, we started jamming in middle school, which like Jill said was like 2013, 2014, and then
Brandon in 2019.
Musician, he was gonna like just try out and be. We wanted we were asking for a touring musician at the time because we were just like, yo, fuck all these players. Like, why is everyone just coming in, learning the music, and then like leaving or pulling some bullshit? And Brandon hit us up. We had Brandon fill in for our tour, and by the end of the tour, we were like, Brandon, dude, you are so great. You got to stay around. And he was all about it. And not long after, Jack also joined. We played a show together, Pollyanna, with his band at the time, Skyline. And there's just this mutual agreement that, like, hey, Jack, you should come, play for us. And also at the time, his band was looking for a drummer. So I filled in for his band, filled in for my band. And ultimately,
Did we do 2 tours with just the 3 of us and no Jack, or was it just 1?
Oh, no, it was the
I think 2. I think 2.
Oh, yeah,
Vincent
and Widmore, yeah.
Nice.
I think it gets blurred because I opened for you guys on both of those runs you did without me.
Yeah.
So I was always there, but like only in Jersey.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
Well, now the
I was actually a fan
brought
before
y'all
I joined,
together.
too.
I love it. Well, let's talk about your new album, Slime, that comes out June 17th through Surrender Records. You already released 1 single from it and a music video, Slut.
Yeah.
I guess, Jill, start behind the meaning of the song before we get into the writing process,
Yeah, I mean, the writing process was a fun and stressful time because it panned out for literally 2 years. But the song is about I think that there's like it can have multiple meanings, and I kind of like to leave the interpretation up to the listener because the song, in one direction there's the song is about being a queer person and kind of reclaiming the word slut. Because it has such a negative connotation, not only, in the queer community, but like more so just in general. It has such this really negative meaning when essentially what it means is just to kind of enjoy sex a lot, and be a person who is comfortable in their own body and is a person that's sex positive. And it literally goes back to like, as like in America and in most of countries of the world, we are not taught in school like about sex, and it's very like negative, even like
Absolutely,
even in the 80s, like especially with like Christianity and so many religions, is like it's so like being a sex positive person is just so negative. Like it's I forget what the guys what's the Christian word that they always encouraged in the 80s.
Oh, the abstinence?
Yes, abstinence.
Don't abstinence.
Abstinence is like such a huge thing that's encouraged, and like a person, you know, that's openly talking about being sex positive kind of has such this negative connotation. And I wanted to kind of create a song where it takes that back, and it makes it almost a whole statement that like it is okay and it should be celebrated and it should be something that people are proud of. And it should be something that we're all talking about without feeling uncomfortable about it. And it took me a really long time to come to that, which is why the word starts of, I just want to be a slut. So it's me trying to, you know, the other meaning is like me trying to evolve into this person who I want to be, because my whole life I've been so uncomfortable talking about it and uncomfortable embracing who I am and embracing having, you know, multiple partners and things like that, which is very frowned upon in society. So I wanted to write a song about it and wanting to break out into the person who I wished I'd be. And the song was kind of like a journey for me, because I wrote it, like the idea was there for like a year before I wrote more lyrics. So yeah, I think the song is really just about, it's kind of like a queer anthem that's supposed to be about not fitting into a box, and being able to dress however you want and, you know, have sex with as many people you want and just kind of, you know, be the person that you want to be without society slut shaming you for it.
I love that.
Yeah, kind of going back to what Jill was saying before about like, you know, the Christian like 80s view of like, that kind of still rings true in a lot of high schools about what you're taught. You know, like we're taught one type of thing, and that's not even done well, you know, like as a blanket statement for the whole world, you know, it's this, like that's all you're taught. It's like, there you go, make a baby, and it's kind of just like
in and out.
It's just like that, like there you go, that's all like you're taught. But like it's much more than that, you know, like especially like from a queer band talking about it, it's like there's more to just what that is. And it's like not even just like sex, it's just like be who you are, be your identity. Like there's more to what they taught you in school about you as a person. Like who are you, what do you enjoy, what do you want to show the world?
I love that. Well, that's the power of music, though. I mean, like for me, like I didn't really know about like gay or lesbian rights. I learned it after Nirvana as a teenager in the early '90s. You know, so I mean, it wasn't like that was taught that in school or in church or anything. So I think
exactly.
Cool, you know,
in fact, like I mean, like especially in the '80s and '90s, like with AIDS being such a huge thing, like literally. No, there was no education, and that was why it was an epidemic, because like the only education that was being given was abstinence, stay away from gay people. Like that was what was being taught. And even, you know, all four of us, you know, in high school, like even though, you know, me and Dan graduated in 2018, like we were literally taught like the basics. Like you don't get taught about queer sex or you don't get taught about shit in school. And even though I think this song I don't think it's for kids, I do think that it's kind of for everyone in like it's literally just a statement of like exactly what Jack said. Like there's more, like there's so much that isn't being taught that we should be taught at a young age.
And should all realize as well, you know? Because it's so taboo, or like we've been using the words frowned upon by general masses.
Yeah, and it's like, why is that taboo? Like eating's not taboo, hygiene's not taboo for most of the population.
Religion,
you know, so it's just like we're humans. Like we have to like repopulate. Like why? Why is that part of it weird? How come like the way some people do that is weird compared to others, according to who? Like, fuck that. Get all that out of here. Like, enjoy the damn thing. Talk about it. It's not weird.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, so album
or you could buy the.
Is this going to be anything different than your last album, Sugarcoat?
Brandon, you want to go? Because you just said something.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be pretty different than our last record. It's still there's still good songs, but it's
pretty
a lot
different
louder.
from this last record we just did. I have it right here.
This last record that we just got on vinyl, which you could order on isurrender.com.
Yeah, I could explain more in depth. I mean, we could explain a little bit of what the record sounds like. I don't think that's too bad.
That's not too bad.
In my opinion, I think that I don't even think maybe there's a few songs that you can compare to Sugarcoat and our last release music, but in my opinion, I think it's a huge drastic change. And I think that it's so I think it's so different that I think that there's fans that might be fans of us now that might not like what we're doing. I don't know. But it's a lot heavier. It's just, I think the genre is definitely different because I think that we almost fit into like with Sugarcoat, like we could fit into pop punk, we could fit into indie, we can fit into indie pop rock. And I think that this record I think this record, Slime, is punk. I think it's loud. I think it's angry. I think it's abrasive. I think it's
raw,
funky. I think it's rock.
You want to hear it? I have it right here.
Oh, weekend.
It's definitely very raw, definitely organic, and in your face, for sure.
Yeah,
Whereas,
we kind of
like polished, clean, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, something else that really separates it from Sugarcoat is like me and Brandon weren't like involved with like the first chunk of the writing process of Sugarcoat. It was just Jill and Dan.
Mhm.
So, you know, like these new songs that are coming out is the first time all four of us were really in the room together. Like, what do we sound like?
Yeah.
Like the four of us. And, you know, the production was totally different from the last one. You know, when we were doing Sugarcoat, I was only on some of it, but it was kind of done at different times. So like, you know, like it wasn't like one full thing. And, you know, like the deluxe came out later with even more stuff, but Slime, you know, like we lived at a studio with an amazing producer, Brett Roms, who worked with the Front Bottoms, Brand New,
And
his
Bobby
own
Chop.
bands. Yeah. And, you know, like we really lived and breathed all of the music in these songs together. So like, it's so focused, like it's one piece of just like, we made an album, you know? So like that's new. And, you know, like being able to record it in $1 million studio was crazy, you know, like that's new. Like the production, like it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Can't wait for all of you to hear it.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I want to add to that because I feel like before this record, like obviously, you know, I think Dan played a huge part in it, but I feel like I was kind of writing most of the songs myself, like, and then I would bring it to practice. This album is like, it feels just like all four of us wrote it. Like it doesn't just show what I was doing and, you know, like everything that I, you know, was writing and then they added to it. It feels like we were all in this and all four of us like are just as proud of it because we were like, this album was created by the four of us in every way possible. You know, I mean, we all played different parts and wrote different parts, but all four of us were in this and we're on this and you hear all four of us versus Sugarcoat. I feel like it wasn't obviously as even. So we all just feel so good about this record because of that.
All right, we got a tour coming up. I think it comes to September. You're going to be touring, and the album drops June. What else is in the works? Are you allowed to talk about? I guess a next single, music video, anything like that?
Cool. We have a single called Mars coming out in 8 days.
Oh, okay.
May 6th. May
All right.
6th. So next Friday. We're actually not. Today's Thursday. We're not doing anything. We're not teasing until tomorrow. So tomorrow you'll start to trickle in that we have a new song. And what's really cool about this upcoming song, the lyrics were a co-write between Brandon and I, and so it's, you know, it's especially special to us. But not only that, I think this song, I think with SLUT you can kind of compare it a little bit to our last release. This song is like, oh wow, oh this is different. Like this is way more in your face. So I think the abrasive, angry, all those like weird psychedelic things that we're talking about, you'll hear that in this next song. So it's going to be a big change.
Can't wait to
so
hear
we're
it.
really excited for it to be out. Yeah.
Well, thank you all so much for taking the time to talk to me, and hopefully I'll see you live if you ever come down here to Orlando. And we'll keep in touch. We'll talk down the road, all right? For future
Absolutely, yeah.
You can go to Leguminati.
Yeah, there's a vegan place called Leguminati.
Is that place still open? Do we know?
It better be.
I don't know. I recently just moved here from LA, so I'm not sure where that is exactly. I know there's a place called Cocktails and Screams. It's like a horror themed Halloween bar in downtown. That's like my favorite.
Oh, that's
right by where we played, right?
Sound bar.
Is that by?
It's near the show. I know that.
Soundbar?
Yeah.
Yeah, Soundbar I think's down there too. So yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. All of you take care, all right?
Yeah, you too.
Thanks for
Thank you
having
so
us.
much for having us.
Yeah, you too.
Yes.